Have you ever been blindsided by a guy who randomly disappeared on you when things seemed to be going well? Well, what if I told you the unfortunate truth that even though it seems random, it never is, but it also doesn't have to be a mystery. Which is why on today's show, we're going to be discussing the top 10 reasons why men disappear on you. That way you can finally stop being so confused by his silence and receive the clarity you've so desperately been waiting for. Point number one, which we're going to discuss, healing. You might meet a guy who's in a place where he is still broken from his past relationship. Nothing wrong with, going through things and not being ready to date. But the problem is a lot of men won't actually do the mature thing, which is not date you when they know they're not ready to actually be dating. So they proceed to go on dating apps, they proceed to go on dates with you, but they are brokenhearted, okay? They're still in pain, they're still hurt from their previous relationship. So the reason I drew this here is because at this point, you could be whole, right? You're perfectly good, you're amazing, you feel good about yourself, you've worked on your confidence, all this other stuff. In the process of you guys dating, right? Energy is always being exchanged, right? You're kind of pouring energy into him, right? And you're helping him rebuild his confidence. You're helping him, feel better about himself. He might even tell you some of the things that went on in his previous relationship. You're kind of ignoring them because you really want to feel good about this and feel good about where this is heading. And then this is where things really fall apart because he's basically not in a position to actually be dating, actually be connecting with someone new as you're pouring in energy into him. Okay, I'm going to write it down here. As you're pouring energy into this man, he's using that energy that you're pouring into him, as crazy as it sounds, to actually make himself whole. Okay, so I'll draw this out here. Okay, he's making himself, his heart, his soul, his spirit whole again. He is healing himself with the energy that you are pouring into him, right? In this scenario. And then after he heals himself with the energy that you have poured into him, he's no longer sad and broken anymore. He no longer has all of the anxiety and the trauma from the previous relationship he had. Now he has confidence. Now he feels like the man again. Now he feels like he could go out there and he could get any girl that he wants. And then this is where the disappearing act starts. Because in reality, he was never actually in this relationship for the purpose of being with you. You were serving the purpose of healing him so that when he regained his confidence within himself, he can now go out into the world and be the man again. For point number two, we're going to discuss the mission being accomplished. Now, this will be painful, but I do have to be honest with you because I am talking about men here. If his goals are to do this, I'll explain these four right here, right? If he accomplishes those goals in the first couple of weeks, or in some cases, the first couple of days, we have to be honest with ourselves. He's probably not going to be very interested in continuing the relationship if this was his entire goal the entire time. So let's kind of go through these four right here, right? If a man is not serious about you, I'll just be super real with you. He's trying to avoid spending as he wants to, I should say, spend as little money as possible. Okay. So that's always going to be part of it, right? That's something that guys are thinking about, right? Part of the mission. He also is going to have a goal to love bomb you simply because love bombing is the easiest way and quickest and most efficient way to your heart. Okay. If he gets to your heart, what is he going to be able to do a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently? He's going to be able to sleep with you a lot more quickly and a lot more efficiently, okay? Right? And all of this is supposed to come under the umbrella of no real commitment. So why am I bringing up this checklist as it relates to men disappearing on you? Well, you have to understand, and as sad as this is going to be, some men meet you and they accomplish this entire checklist in one day. I know it sucks to hear. And I know you're feeling like Boo Boo the Fool when you're really thinking about it or the mistakes that you made. But some men that you're meeting are accomplishing all of these four goals in one day. For some of you, in one night, okay? And even when it extends to a week or even sometimes 2 weeks, you can still imagine how quickly these goals are getting accomplished. And then the question becomes, okay, these goals have been accomplished, now what? Because if a man comes in to the relationship or the situationship with these as his main goals, these as his main motivations, these as his main drivers, right, of driving the relationship forward, then what happens when he accomplishes them? Of course, he will disappear because he doesn't feel like there's any more work to do. Now, am I saying that every man will have this exact same checklist whenever he meets you and starts dating you? No, I'm not necessarily saying that. But in the process of you meeting and dating men, there will be some men who have this on their checklist. And the honest truth is that when they accomplish this, you're not really going to hear from them anymore. You're not really going to see them anymore. And you're not really going to have them wanting to spend time with you anymore. So for point number 3, we're going to discuss intimacy. Now, this is the thing that I have to be super with you. Not every guy that you meet is actually going to be ready to be in a serious relationship. And I know that sounds weird because you might actually be on a date with the guy who's not ready for a long-term serious relationship. So then it's like, how is that possible that we're on this date, but he's not actually ready for that? Let me tell you what a lot of guys will do. They'll say to themselves, cool, I like dating. I like women. I like hot women. I like attractive women. I want to penetrate women. That's all I can think about is women. I love chasing women. Then in the process of that, when he starts meeting your parents, all right, he starts meeting your siblings. You start meeting his parents, his family, his siblings, his friends. You guys start talking about things like living together. You guys start having conversations like, taking trips together and what it might be like when you get married and what it might be like when you have kids. At first, even when he first starts dating you, all of this is fun and hypothetical and yeah, one day this and one day that. But as time goes on, the relationship becomes more and more real. And unfortunately, sometimes if you're not doing your due diligence and you're not really getting a sense of what the guy wants versus what do you hope that he wants, you can find yourself in a position where the amount of pressure he is feeling now that the relationship is getting a lot more real is making him feel like, well, I don't know if I'm really ready for this. I don't know if this is really what I want. I don't know if this is really where I'm ready to go and what do I want to be doing. I don't know if I want to live with you. I don't know if I really want to get married and all this other stuff, right? And so that can become very blindsiding to you because then this man, because of all that pressure, now disappears on you, okay, or pulls away from you. And you're left thinking, wait, what just happened? Where did you go? Why did this happen? I thought we were preparing to basically get married and basically be together forever, right? And so then how do you avoid this? And how can you even spot this going on? So the main thing about these type of situations, right? Men who are pretending to be ready, but they're not really ready. A lot of this stems from, see, when you meet a guy, you have a desire of what you want, what's important to you, how you want to build a relationship. But you don't necessarily know for sure if that's his same desire. The problem stems from, this is how you attack it, you cannot make assumptions that he desires the same thing as you. In fact, it's actually best if you go into your dating stages and your talking stages with the already existing assumption, I have no idea what this guy wants. I have no idea what his goals are. I have no idea what his motives are. I have no idea if he even wants a long-term serious relationship, but I'm here to learn all of that information. Our 4th reason, which is the distraction. For the most part, as a man, you can have things figured out where the next step, logical step in your life is, yes, let me now find a good woman to settle down with and find a good relationship because I've taken care of majority of the pressing things that I need to take care of for myself in my own life to even be the type of man that can provide and protect for a good woman, okay? But the problem is there's a lot of men rather than doing all of these things, right? These are just some of the small things that he should be doing or focusing on, right? They will not do these things because this takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of attention, a lot of work. And instead, what they'll do is they'll meet you. You're amazing. Look at your big booty, okay? Look at your small waist. Look at your pretty eyelashes. And they'll say, you are a much better distraction and way to focus my time and energy than doing all of these things. Because I know, even though that these things are important to my life, I also feel really poopy about the fact that I don't do them. And so the longer I don't do them, the more poopy I feel about myself. So let's just avoid thinking about that altogether. Let's just avoid the poopy feeling altogether. And let's focus all my time and attention on you so that I don't have to feel any more poopy about myself. This is where the problem starts to, come in. Because now, instead of you being a focus because he's ready for that at that point in his life, you end up becoming a distraction instead of him actually doing these things. And this cycle perpetuates itself and snowballs into a tragedy because you get to a point where now you might want certain things of the relationship or expect certain things of him or expect certain treatment from him in the relationship. And now he's blaming the fact that, oh, well, I don't have a job. I'm unemployed, so I don't have any money anymore. I haven't been making any money. I have my goals and stuff. Oh, the reason I can't hang out with you, the reason I haven't been able to stick to our dates and stick to our plans is because I'm so stressed out. I don't have no job. I don't have no money. I haven't saved for this. I haven't saved for that. My health, my this, right? And it's funny, ironically, even though he's using you as a distraction, right? You don't even end up benefiting from the fact he's using you as a distraction because even though he's using you as the distraction, he still ends up blaming the fact that he's paying all his time and attention to you on why he's not getting these things done. You suffer because when you ask for the bare minimum, when you ask for princess treatment, when you ask for him to just act like a boyfriend who actually cares and can protect and provide, you don't get that because he hasn't done these things. Reason number 5, men will disappear on you. Projection. Now, this is where I'm gonna put a little bit of responsibility on you because I have helped so many of you that I start to get a spidey sense and an understanding of how certain things might trigger you into thinking certain ways when it comes to men. It's okay, right? Here's one of the things that I've noticed. You come into a relationship, right? And you say, okay, well, my desire is to be married. My desire is to have 3 children. My desire is to live in, a suburb, in a nice house with a nice white fence. My desired outcomes are that my man will date me for 2 to 3 years, and then he'll propose to me. He'll get me a 4-carat diamond ring. That's what my desired outcome is, right? And the path that I want to get there, of course, we're going to date for a little bit. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to spend quality time together. We're going to have intimacy, both physically and emotionally. And we're going to really be like each other's best friend. And that's how we're going to build up to eventually becoming a whole family. And it's going to be so amazing, right? Nothing wrong with having that dream and those desires and that desired outcome, as I like to say. But the problem is, when you meet a guy, you might then go on your dates and in the process of getting to know him say, yeah, I am so excited for our future together because I know how amazing our future would be, that I know deep down in my heart, you're at the same level of excitement as me. Aren't you so excited? Aren't you so excited? You gotta be as excited as me. I'm so excited. And your excitement is like spilling over you. And you don't realize he's like, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, right? And because you are so filled with joy about the possibilities and these outcomes and your pathway and what it's going to look like, you're actually not able to take in that his reaction isn't that he really is excited. His reaction is more like, yeah, me too. But in a way where he doesn't actually feel like me too, he's just going along with it. And this is where the projection starts and becomes very dangerous, and how it can end up in a guy disappearing on you. Because that doesn't just happen one time. It happens all throughout the relationship, and they kind of like stack on top of each other, right? All of the different desires you can have in a relationship of what you want it to look like, how you want it to be, how you want it to happen, what you want to transpire, your relationship dynamic, where you want to be. All of these things and parts and aspects of the relationship, they stack upon each other where you're excited about it. You project onto him that excitement that you have, assuming he has that same level of excitement, assuming even that he has those same desires, those same desired outcomes and that same desired pathway to get there. And only randomly one day, 2-3 years from now, do you realize, or sometimes it's 2 months, sometimes it's 3 months, that he just randomly takes off and says, yeah, everything that we were saying that we wanted, that wasn't really me wanting that. That was more you wanting that. And I've realized at this point in my life, I don't want those same things. For point number 6, we're going to discuss being too much. Now, this is going to kind of hurt your feelings, but I do want to be real with you in the fact that this kind of leads to men disappearing sometimes. See, I know that you might be excited to go on a date with the guy. You might be excited because he's your type. You might be excited because he's your vibe. You like guys who have nice smiles. You like guys who are over 6 foot. You like guys with money, and he has a lot of the qualities that you've been looking for in a man. So you're super excited, okay? Nothing wrong with being super excited, but then here is where the problem starts, right? Because you like him so much and you really, really, really want this to work, you then start doing things that make you feel like too much to a guy. Because you guys know, I always talk about this, the particular dynamic you want to be set in a relationship with a guy is that he is coming to you. He has a desire to spend time with you. He's always asking to spend more time with you, see you more, be around you more, because he really likes and enjoys spending that time with you. Now, here's where things can fall apart. Because of how badly you want this to work and you like this guy, you start being the one propelling things forward and saying, hey, I would love to see you tomorrow, even though we just saw each other a day ago. I know you haven't asked me to see me, but I would love for us to make something happen, right? Hey, I'm just noticing, you haven't really texted me most of the day. And, I'm just kind of wondering, is something going on with you? Are you okay? Did you fall in a ditch? Just checking up. But hey, I know it's been a couple of hours, but I just wanted to make sure on your way home from work, you didn't get into an accident or something. We haven't saw each other in so long, just making sure. This is the problem, right? So as your feelings start to bubble, right? It's like a kettle, right? It starts to simmer and now it's bubbling and now it's whistling and you're starting to lose control slowly. And this is when you become too much for guys sometimes. And not only is the pressure overall of a relationship weighing on him, but also the pressure of the expectation that you might have of him and how much you want to be with him and how much you want to see him and how much you want to spend time with him. I know this sounds really weird because it almost feels like I'm telling you to not like guys. I want you to like guys, but you also have to understand how sometimes being too much can be very repulsive to men and can repel them a lot of times because it's not really natural for men to be pressed. That doesn't feel attractive. It doesn't feel natural to them. It doesn't feel like the dynamic or the place they're supposed to be in emotionally in their relationship, being the one being pressed. Now, on the opposite sense, when a man is pressing a woman, I'm not saying it in an inappropriate way, but just in general, right? He's the one saying, hey, love to spend time with you, love to see you, I'd love to, do this, go out here. That is a lot more of a natural dynamic to a relationship in a way that can actually be healthy and work. And so this is why I say this. Sometimes guys disappear because they feel that extreme pressure from your desire to see him and your desire to spend time with him. So for point number 7, we're going to talk about opinions because this is something that can plague any relationship and can actually be the downfall of a relationship. His friends and his family, depending on the type of guy that he is, will hold weight in his mind, okay? When I say hold weight in his mind, I'm talking about holding their opinions matter to him. Their perspective matters to him. Their opinions and perspective on his life also matter to him. Depending on the type of guy you're dealing with, for some men, it will be more, and for some men, it will be less. For some men, it will be so extreme that it causes a lot of problems. What do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, I'll give you a little bit of a story example. Let's say you really want to be liked by this guy's friends, and this is your first time going out with them. So this is their first time experiencing you. This is your first time experiencing them. Because you want to be liked by those group of friends, you say, okay, so I'm going to be one of the boys tonight. I'm going to show them that I'm fun. I like to go out. I like to get drunk. I can be just like them, shot for shot. We having fun. We having a good time. So when you go out with them, you get really drunk and then you become really obnoxious because you're drunk now. And when you're going shot for shot with men who are bigger and taller than you, it affects them differently than it affects you. Now you're slurring your words, you're stumbling, you're all over the place, you're, throwing up everywhere, you're not feeling good, you have this going on, you have that going on, you're not representing yourself right, you're saying some cringe things. And long story short, the night goes downhill for you. Then the next day, right, or the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks, you start to notice his energy towards you is changing. You start to notice the amount of attention, time, the amount of reaching out he used to do, the frequency is changing now. Something is off. But what you didn't realize is within that time is that his friends that met you that night, that you were all over the place being trying to be one of the boys, they now, in their perception of you, have now given their opinion to your man of you and what they think of you. In the process of doing that, their opinion obviously matters to your man. And he's now decided, oh, you know what? Maybe she's not the best one for me. And that's just the honest truth. And sometimes guys will disappear on you, not even because of something they think about you necessarily, but something that they've heard or an opinion or perspective they've received from a friend or a family member. The same thing could happen if one day you meet his mom and then all of a sudden you notice that his way of going about your relationship is changing now. And it's because his conversation with his mom said, yep, I don't really like her. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like the way she dresses. I don't like the way she looks. I don't like the way she talks. I don't like the way she walks. Okay? And sometimes this is the really sad part and unfortunate part. It's not even necessarily your fault. And there's not even anything you can do to control that all the time. Sometimes, but sometimes you're not even necessarily doing anything. It's just people that have a preconceived notion about you that feel because of their own trauma, because of their own experiences, that you're not the right person, you're not a good person. Let's hop into our reason number 8, which is they can't play. When men want to just sleep with you, take advantage of you, extract girlfriend treatment from you without doing anything for you, they're looking for clown women. They want clowns. Clowns are easily accessible, they're easy to trick, easy to convince, and the tactics work very well on clown women. Sometimes he might disappear on you because in the process of meeting you, and this is actually kind of a good thing, he realizes you're not a clown woman, okay? You're not one of those clown women that believes anything, that's super naive, you have no experience with men, so he's able to tell you anything he wants and you constantly think that it's the truth, and he's able to run circles around you. He knows more about relationships than you do, so because you don't know what to expect, you don't know how to anticipate things, and so he just runs circles around you, right? If you're not one of those women though, then he'll start saying to himself, well, this is kind of pointless. I'm not really going to be accomplishing my goals here because if she's not a clown woman, clown women are too smart for me to get anything over on them. And if this woman that I'm seeing, I'm starting to learn she's not one of those clown women, what am I doing here? I'm not going to be able to win out here. I'm not going to be able to be successful here. And I need her to be a clown woman in order for me to be able to take advantage of her. So this is part of the thing here. So sometimes when they realize after a while of dating you that they can't play around with you, that you're not one of those clown women, that they're not going to be able to take advantage of you, they disappear because to them, they consider it a waste of time. So for point number 10, we're going to discuss options. When you start dating a guy, some of the guys that you'll date are going to be shiny new toy men. A shiny new toy type of man is a man who gets off. His dopamine only hits at its peak when you're brand spanking new. When are you brand spanking new? When he first is getting to know you. When he first swipes you on that dating app. When he first meets you at that club, at that bar, in some cases that grocery store, at that party. You're shiny and new. This is why I drew the equation. You plus 2 weeks, he's very happy. You're shiny and new still. You're sparkling, okay? Fresh out of the fryer. You're hot like grease, okay? And this is when he's the most excited to see you, most excited to spend time with you, most excited to be around you. Then, you have no legs in this, that's crazy. Then, at the 3-month mark, you're not so shiny and new anymore, right? Now, you're more real. He knows you. He knows more about you. He knows more about your life. You've been talking for a while. You've been texting for a while. And it's not as exciting, the rush of getting to know you anymore because now he's already knowing you. This is one, an addiction in some men that you'll meet, but also a big reason why some men will disappear on you, because they're not really here for a relationship. They just love the thrill of meeting someone in the beginning and, getting all of the excitement out of the fact that you're new. And then once you stop being new and the excitement is gone, they don't really actually like you and they're not really here to build anything. They just like the hit of dopamine of you being new. And this is the craziest part, because you might be thinking all of these men just want to sleep with you. Sometimes the guys literally just like it being a new girl.